Hello, everyone. I'm Joe Zagacki, and welcome to Hurricane Game Day with head baseball coach Jim Morris. And coming up on the show, we'll talk baseball with the Hurricane skipper. In Unlimited Access, we spend an afternoon with Coach Morris and his players at practice. And Killian's own pitcher, Michael Redmond, joins us in Hurricane Game Day, and it starts right now.
Okay, here we go. Let's go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Hurricane Game Day with University of Miami head coach Jim Morris. I'm Joe Zagacki. Welcome here on CSS as the Hurricanes are coming off a big weekend against Boston College last weekend. It was cold up there in Chestnut Hill, but the Hurricanes a winner in their series, and this weekend will take on North Carolina State in ACC action. And Coach, are you thawed out?
I'm telling you, it was cold. We practiced on Thursday. It was, I tell you what, was one thing that was really funny is we go to practice and we got snow flurries. So we got guys that hadn't seen snow, okay? So they thought it was really cool for about 15 minutes, and then they realized I'm freezing.
That starts to sting a little bit on the bat, right?
Yeah, but actually the snow was blowing in your face, and we're trying to hit, and you're looking, and you're wiping it out of your eyes. I'm laughing, to be honest with you. But it actually got better from that point. The weather. It still never got warm, but it's very important that we got in practice in something like that, so they can see how cold it is to get used to it, because you got to be mentally tough enough to be able to handle that and block it out and play the game.
Well, you bounced back after the Georgia Tech series. You won a midweek game, then you went on the road. You won in Boston. The bats really came alive. 5 home runs in Boston. Ronnie Rodriguez had a terrific series. So offensively, you were really good.
Well, I think our bats are going to get better. I think they're going to get better. One, we've seen great pitching early, and I think the hitters are starting to adjust to the bats. I think they're starting to adjust and swing the bat a little bit harder now, and I think that's an adjustment to, left center, right center, swing the bat hard, don't get cheated, and let's go after it. And that's basically what I told the hitters. Let's just don't get cheated, man. Let's get it done.
Harold Martinez was 6 for 9 in the series against Boston College, so that's a good sign as well.
Well, it was, and our stats for the team was outstanding. Our offensive stats were outstanding for the team. So, that's important that we score some runs, take some of the pressure off the pitchers.
I would say 466 is pretty good. Who's working with the hitters now?
Oh, I worked with them last weekend. I worked with the pitchers early, now I'm working with the hitters. Depending on what side, I always joke and say that. My first meeting ever with my coaches after the first game, I told them when I went out, I would let them know what I was in charge of before I went to the press conference after the first game. They kind of looked at me like, is this guy serious?
Yeah, you're in charge of whatever's going well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But seriously, 466 average at the time, and over the last 4 games, we mentioned the bats are coming alive, and you're playing through some injuries as well.
Well, we are. We've got 3 guys. 3 hitters in particular that are out for the year with major surgeries. 3 infielders, and then Perez is out. But I got to tell you, Harold's coming in and did a great job at short. He was flawless the last 5 games, and he's played really well at short. And he's actually played much, much better at short than he did at third base, which third is supposed to be easier than short. But, it's his natural position. He played for a long time.
I was going to say, why do you think he's been better defensively for you at shortstop? He's a big kid with good range.
Well, I think 1, because he played all his life, and 2 is maybe have a little bit more reaction time, so he's able to adjust it and charge the ball. The thing he does best when he plays third or short is come after the ball, so he plays deeper, and he's able to come after the ball and read the hops better, and he's played very well there. But you would think, watching him play short, that he could play anywhere on the field.
A little bit later on in the show, we'll take a look at what's coming up next for you in the ACC, which is North Carolina State at home. But in the standings, you're now 8-3, and your side, the Coastal Division, a real battle there. Virginia, Georgia Tech, off to great starts, but you're right there with them.
Well, we are. We're 4th on our side. I'm looking at the standings here. We're 4th on our side, but 6th in the league. So we had the 1 snow out.
Yeah. So
we're short 1 game on that side, but. Top 8 teams go to ACC, and as we know, once you get in the ACC, anything can happen. In 2008, we finished 5th in the conference and 4th in the nation, so it's a great conference.
It's crazy. The Atlantic Division, only 1 team is over 500. That's Florida State.
Yeah, you're right, and they basically got the same record that we do if we hadn't been snowed out to 1 game.
All right, we'll talk more about the ACC and North Carolina State coming up later this weekend. Also, Michael Redmond joins us on the show. Don't go anywhere. There's plenty to come on the show when we come back. In this week's Unlimited Access, we take you to a behind-the-scenes look at practice with head coach Jim Morris and his squad. Hurricane Game Day on CSS. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS. Coach Morris's teams have a reputation of being disciplined and really good at the fundamentals. In this week's Unlimited Access, you get an inside look at why. It's called Coaching and Practice.
We wanted again to work on our throwing. We got, in particular with Martinez at first now and Figure at third. We want to outfielders to throw. We want to make sure we do some situations as far as the outfielders throwing to make sure our guys are in position. All right, to change that up a little bit. Make sure catchers, make sure we catch some throws to the back base in these things, in these situations. We're going to have pitchers running. JD, you got your pitchers running. And we'll do that for about 15 minutes in our double play rotation, which again is communication. Pitchers, be ready to field your position. Then we got our situations of BP, two groups on defense. Two groups on defense today, catching every ball off the bat. Make sure you're playing your primary position. You're going to be on defense twice. If you can play your primary position, do that. If you have a secondary position, then play the secondary position at the time. It's better if we only have one guy at each position, and we're going to work on dirt balls because that's one thing that we have not done a good job of reading balls in the dirt, in my opinion.
First baseman's all infielders, move your feet. Do not let the ball short hop you. That's your fault if you get short hop when a guy throws the ball over 100 feet.
One thing I haven't seen us do a good job of doing that, and then again we're working on our bunting. You guys can see the importance of bunting. Do it again, do it again, do it right. Still got to be harder, more toward first. Okay, that'll work. I bet you nobody's at first base on that ball. You guys can see the importance of bunting. Okay, it's more important than it's ever been. And you guys can see we're bunting with one strike, two strikes, it don't matter. We're going to bunt. And I don't care if it's the ninth hitter or the fourth hitter. We're going to bunt. When we need a bunt down, we're going to bunt. So get it down early, understand early. You can be a little bit, more selective where you bunt. When you got two strikes, you got to get it down, period. All right, get it down. Everybody at your positions, let's go.
Let's go, come on, Dave, come on. Let's go, catchers, get out there. Anytime you're ready, anytime you're ready. Good job now. Let's go, good job, hitting the cutoff, man. 15 minutes, nobody on, nobody on. Here we go. Man on second base, man on second base. Mike, you got to see that ball a little bit and know the ball's in the gap. Watch the play. Show some instincts for the game. There's no way that ball's going to the plate. As soon as you make that decision, make it. So he'll get lined up right. Where are you supposed to be, Harold? Only time you're back here, is on a ball in the gap. Middle infielders, you guys got all the double cuts. So every double cut, you're going to second, except in the gap with a man on first. You got that, Kate? Okay. You guys talk to each other, too. Get it in! Get it in! Good. Why are we not finishing the play, Brad? What? Do our rundowns. We've messed up a lot of rundowns. If you got a guy in a rundown, do it. Guys, who called that? Did we have a play at third? Then the throw's got to go to second. That's a bad job of base running. I can't holler at the pitcher, but he should have been at second on that because he should have broke hard. There was nobody at second base. Catch the ball. Do not let the ball short hop you. Come on, hit him in the chest. You know, infielders, it doesn't matter. You got to move your feet. Don't let him short hop you. He's throwing the ball 150 feet.
You know, if you have the last play we just had with a man tagging on third, and then a man on first, and he's halfway because since it's deep out there and he's tagging. If there's no play, you know, we have
Still
to
got to go to second. If
Yeah,
there's no play.
Do we say halfway for that runner or tagging for?
You got to call the play more than anything. He knows guys going to be tagging. Second base. Tell him what base to throw to him.
You say halfway.
No, just holler 2-2-2.
Okay.
2-2-2. His job is to throw it hard and get it in.
Okay, here we go. Let's go. Outfielders go. Defense. Infielders, we got double play rotation. Ronnie, go ahead to right field. Ronnie, go to right field. Yeah, go to outfield. Right. Good, good. The sooner you get to it, the better. So we can catch it and then find the base. Front end right there. Perfect front end throw right there. Brad, you can't get up here so much like this right here that he fake bunts and they still. Yeah, you got to stay back a little bit. Okay, we got two groups hitting. Group 1, 2, and 3, both on defense, working both positions. I need play every ball off the bat. I need a pitcher at first and second. 2 fungos going, okay? Work them hard. 15-minute stations. Let's go. Next round, let's do a couple slashes, okay? Make sure they sell it. That's going to come up sometime. Come on, get on top. Get on top. Ground ball. Attaboy. 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 Good job. Good job. Sell it now. Get out there and get squared like a game. There you go. That's going to happen sometime this year. Nobody's crashed, but somebody's going to crash. I know we're going to crash.
All right, a good look at Hurricane practice in unlimited access. And Coach, obviously you pay attention to all of the fundamentals and every little detail.
Well, you try to. I mean, you try to prepare the team for every situation that can come up. I always feel that if you go over a situation and we mess up in the game, then they got to be accountable for it. And I'm accountable all the time, I understand that. But if I don't go over a situation and something comes up and it catches us off surprise and our players are not ready for it, then absolutely, it's my fault totally. And so I try to practice things, review things, make sure they're prepared for every situation to be ready. I've got a board in my office to remind me of situations, everything. We go through practice plans every day.
You can't be great in games if you're not great in practice, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's the place to make the mistakes.
Well, you're right. I don't know who came up with that slogan. You know, perfect practice makes perfect play. I don't remember who that was. That sounds like
wise person.
Yeah, it sounds like Vince Lombardi or somebody. I don't know. But the bottom line is you got to practice the way you play. We try to do things at game speed, and we try to practice the things that was going to happen, or that we were having a problem the week before, or we think is going to happen the next week.
Is it a challenge during the season, 1, to keep the practices interesting, and 2, to continue working the fundamentals, because once the season gets underway, there's a demand for time?
Well, there's a demand for time, and once the season starts, the real deal is with the season being condensed, you're playing 4 or 5 games a week. You don't have enough time to practice. It's hard to have enough practice and to review things, to go over things, to do anything different once the season starts. So I really like the old days when you had three games on a weekend, and you could play an inter-squad game. You could control everything. You could go over stuff. You could teach more during practice.
Have practices changed a lot during the years?
Oh, I think they've tried to change a lot for sure, you know, because, you know, by NCAA rules, we take off on Monday. Then we have, normally the Tuesday practice is so-so. We play on Wednesday. Thursday we may be traveling as a short practice, so you don't have a lot of practice time like I would like.
All right, don't go anywhere because when we come back, Hurricanes pitcher Mike Rudman will be joining us right here in the studio. Stay with us. You're watching Hurricane Game Day on CSS. And welcome back to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS. Joe Zagacki alongside University of Miami head coach Jim Morse, and joining us now out of the bullpen, University of Miami pitcher Michael Rudman with us here on the set. And so we got a pitcher and we got a smart pitcher.
Absolutely, absolutely. This guy, you don't want, in the future, you want this guy taking care of your money.
You like stats. Yeah.
That's right.
He's good with numbers.
Yeah.
Financial major, right?
Yeah.
Accounting, yeah.
Accounting, okay.
Accounting.
Good time of the year to be an accounting major.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got a unique thing. He had arm surgery, which kind of slowed his career, put him on hold there for a year or two. And this is your. Tell him how you got eligible. What happened?
Well, I mean, the main thing was just getting my arm healthy and just trying to really rehab so I can come back 100% and be strong. And I was helped by the trainers, Ron LeClaire, Coach Morris, Coach J.D. Arteaga. We really worked hard with a throwing program and tried to really strengthen the arm. And I was lucky enough to come back for my 5th year and play and be a part of the team. So.
Did you have to get a waiver from the NCAA to get the extra year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had pitched some when he had the surgery, so it's a thing. But it was pretty automatic if you're in the first half and you do have surgery. But I think it's unique. He's in grad school now. So, what's your major? And
I did accounting. I got my degree, my bachelor's in 4 years, and lucky enough to come back and play my 5th year, so I can go to grad school, do accounting, and hopefully when I'm done, I'll get my CPA and see where it goes from there.
Like, you were also a pitcher locally, Killian High School. So growing up, I'm sure you were a big University of Miami fan.
Oh, absolutely. I used to come to the games all the time, maybe once a weekend, once every 2 weeks, if anything. I used to come to the games all the time, see all the guys playing, and wished I was out there too. So that really motivated me to keep coming out and playing hard and trying to get better at baseball so I can be a part of the team.
Really helps in recruiting. You know, a guy like Mike comes to the ball games when he's a kid. Next thing you know, he's wearing a uniform for you.
yeah, we're lucky. I mean, I think we have quite a few players that are in that same boat, that they grew up in our ballpark. They grew up watching it. They're watching us or watching the other teams and visualizing, hey, you know, I'd like to play in this situation. So it's definitely helped us in recruiting. A lot of kids, I think you'd agree with this, Mike. Most of the kids growing up would like to play at the University of Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. Know that.
Mike, talk a little bit about this, the pitching staff this year and your role, how you fit in. The pitching has been very good this season for the University of Miami.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like we have a lot of talent, and I mean, we've been pitching well so far, but if we really get going and pitch to our potential, I really feel that we could definitely go far, because, you know, pitching and defense wins you championships, and the hitting, you know, definitely helps, but the pitching is the most important thing. And I mean, our starting pitching's been really strong. We've had guys come out of the bullpen and get the job done, and I'm just trying to, you know, do my part, do my role, and whenever I come in, try to do the best I can to shut things down and get some outs.
How much has J.D. Arteaga influenced you?
Oh, a lot. I mean, this is my 5th year, so me and JD have worked together for 5 years, and he's really helped me with a lot of different things, like grips, throwing different pitches, and making sure my balance is right, and working on pickoffs and knowing the signs, and just really everything to do with pitching. So he's been a really big help.
Coach, I know watching him pitch for you, you've used him in a variety of roles, whether you need him as a starter or long reliever or to get a couple of outs. Throughout his career, he's been a very handy tool for you coming out of the bullpen.
Well, he has, and Mike knows, and you know, and I think everybody that's close to our program understands the value that I put on the bullpen. We have no complete games this year, which is normal for us.
Right.
So the last thing I think I say to the pitchers every day in our team meeting before we go over signs with the hitters is, hey, bullpen, be ready. I'm going to the pen, make sure you're ready. I think that's the last thing I say now. That's
Yeah,
good.
almost every time too.
Mhm.
How do you like pitching against the new bats?
I mean, I try really not to think about that. I try to pitch my game and stay focused from pitch to pitch, regardless of how the bats are or where the wind's blowing or anything like that. You try to really focus on your pitches. But I mean, I'm sure it has helped a little bit, but you put a good swing on a ball and it's going to go no matter what. So.
This is a grind in this ACC, but it looks like your team is adjusting to it and won the series against Boston College, another big one coming up against North Carolina State. But I think your team is starting to grasp now what it's like or how tough it is to win in this conference.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a lot of young guys, a lot of freshmen that have stepped up, and it's good that they go through the experiences of, you know, you can't win every game, but they have to know how bad it hurts to lose. You know, because we're a winning program, we expect to win every game. When we go out every day, we think we're going to win every game. So, you know, when you lose and you expect to win, it really hurts, especially with how hard we've worked throughout the fall, throughout practice. And, you know, we really try to stay focused in practice so that when the time comes, we make sure we get the job done and get the W's.
All right, very good job here. Congratulations on the work in school. I'll need a tax man next year, this time next season.
Absolutely.
Okay, very good. All right, that's Michael Rudman joining us here on the show. When we come back, Coach and I will take a look at what's coming up for the Hurricanes this weekend at home against North Carolina State. Hurricane Game Day on CSS will continue right after this. Welcome back to Hurricane Game Day here on CSS with University of Miami head coach Jim Morse. This weekend, a big one. The Hurricanes will take on North Carolina State at the ballpark. It's also a big weekend for you because the 2001 National Championship team will be here, and they'll be honored Saturday. Seems like it was just the other day you won that championship.
Well, it does. 10 years, amazing.
Wow.
That's long. I mean, it's amazing. We need to win another one. Is what I'm thinking. We're due for another one. So it's going to be great to see some of the guys back. And I know I've talked to a few of them who are trying to get back. But here, you know, they got a lot of different things going. Particularly guys who are playing wouldn't be back.
What I remember about that team is midway through the year is after the Cal State Fullerton series. I don't think you lost again.
Yeah.
It was an incredible run down the stretch.
You're right. Fullerton came in and. I think they swept us, isn't that right?
Yeah, that's
they
correct.
Swept us at home. 3 good games, and I remember at the end of that series, it was discouraging. We lost 3 low-scoring, close games, and I told our guys, I says, you know, that team right there can win the World Series. If we can play better than them, then we can win the World Series. We got to get something from this series because they're very prepared. George Horton was the coach now at Oregon, but did a great job, and we did. We took off from there, and then we won every game after that in the regionals, the NCAA tournament, and the World Series. And you got to get better. Sometimes if you don't play good people, then you don't answer questions. You know, they don't make you realize what your deficiency are as a pitcher, a hitter, a team. And I think playing good people is important.
You beat Stanford for the national championship that year. Quickly, North Carolina
12-1, I must add, 12-1.
Yep. North Carolina State comes in this weekend. What do you expect?
Well, State, I mean, Ellie Davian does a great job. He's been there a long time as our head coach, and they're going to play hard. They're known as blue-collar guys. They get after it. They, you know, a lot of North Carolina boys, and they play for them, and they play hard. It's always a good series, and they always have a good club.
All right, Coach, the best of luck this weekend. Have a good time.
Thanks.
That's University of Miami head coach Jim Morse. Canes and North Carolina State this weekend. We'll see you next week right here on CSS on Hurricane Game Day. Thanks for watching, everybody.